Okay, so this video is going to talk about how do we enhance a PDF in our formative for worksheets that we might have. So what I've done is I went ahead and I got a worksheet and I downloaded it, and this is going to be just a math worksheet just to show you what it is. Now, if I have something that's multiple pages, maybe I got a 5-6 pager and I just want to do one page, what I can do first is I can go and say, okay, I only want to print one of those pages. So I can do File, Print, change instead of printing to our printers, I would change, I'm going to print it as an Adobe PDF. And here I could choose the pages and say, I want to do just page 2, page 4, page 7 to 11, whatever it is that I want to do. I hit print, it gives me a new file name and saves it. But I've already got the file that I want. So now we're going to enhance it into our formative. So what we're going to do is open up our formative. We get in a formative. We're going to go create ourselves a new formative. And I'm going to give this a title, what I want to call it. I'm going to call this test formative or whatever we want it to be. And so now I've got my formative. Very first thing we're going to do is hit the blue button, which is where we add anything. Now, when you're adding stuff in your formative, the red are going to be content, things that you'd like to add, videos, workspaces. The blues are all going to be your question types. Then this is where I can upload my own content. So I want to go down to Enhance a PDF, and I'm going to upload a picture or upload a document from my PDF. Now you can add anything you want. If you've got it saved in your Google Drive, it'll go in there. I'm going to upload right from my desktop. So I'm going to go to my downloads, this file that I just did, which is my file. Now what it'll do is it'll convert it into like an image essentially. So it brings it into your uh, formative as an image. And so when I'm done, if I had 6 pages, it would add 6 images. So I'm going to hit yes, I want to add the image. So now I've got the image. Couple of ways that I can do this is I could go in and put in one, and I'm going to add my question. And maybe I want the kids, they're just going to they're going to put a numeric answer in here. So I'm going to put in this numeric, and I'm going to say, number 1. So this is going to be number 1 for my question and the correct answer. So we're going to look at and see what is the correct answer. So now I can set up and say I want to show work or I don't want to show work. I can say lots of different things. So I'm going to say with this math, if you add a correct answer, and I'm going to say the correct answer is 212, it's going to give it, right? And so we've got it. I can also do a show your work, which gives, when I do the show work for a math one, it's going to give a little workspace that they would have to work it off of. Now, so that's going to be question number 1. Another way to do this now, all of my questions will always be at the right side. But what I failed to do is give a little indication of where I wanted the number 1 to go, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do number 2 a little differently. So on number 2, instead of clicking on the plus over here to just add number 2, number 3, number 4, I'm going to go right here and I'm going to click my button and I'm going to add in my numeric question. And you're going to notice that that's now a number 2. So now that's where number 2 is going to go. And I can add in what I want for number 2. I can click right here, and that's going to be my numeric question. There's my number 3. Now, it doesn't have to be numeric question. Say this is a fill in the blank. I can click right here wherever I want it to be, and this could be a fill in the blank. And I give what do I want for my fill in the blank. What's nice when you click in your Adobe, your PDF or your worksheet is the questions will still be along the right-hand side, but it gives a visual indicator to your students of where they're supposed to go look for what is question 1 or where is question 1, right? So if I mess something up, I would want to go back. I could delete this out, and then I would have to remove it, start it over again. The numbering would change, so I'd want to go back and get it. Because so if you notice right here, this now became my number 1, my number 2, my number 3. So if I wanted to make sure I got them all set up right, I could just remove them right from the beginning, go all the way back. I've got all my numbers. Then I could just go in, hit my plus where I want it. It's going to be my numeric, my plus where I want it, my numeric question type, and I can just keep adding my questions as I go for that document. When you get done with that, you would go in to assign your responses. Pick a class that you're going to assign it to. Teacher pace mode is a good deal if you're going to work on it together, which means they all work the problem. You see how they're working the problem, or they fill in the answers, and they can't go on to question two until you go on to question two. They can't go on to question three until you go on to question three, so on and so forth. But the one of your adjust settings, what's important here is you can set up, and you definitely don't want to do any kind of randomization or anything like that, because if you do random, it'll make it so that your students, the questions are in the wrong spot. So we definitely don't want to do that. So those are good. That's going to be how you would assign and post that into your GoFormative. If you have anything, reach out, let me know.